Hello to all my friends out there. So now you heard about the evacuation in Kansas City. I'm not surprised, to tell you the truth. So I want to have something really cheap to eat. I'm having this because I just feel like eating this, and it also happens to be really, really cheap. And it's also one of the meals that I can make. Here's my leftover tea. This cost me, at this point, I think this would be about 10 cents left in my little pitcher. So some of you, I know, probably don't understand why I am such a caution freak. Well, I worked unstable employment my entire life. I worked commission beauty shops. And when it was slow or anything came up, friend needs a job, the owner needs more money, etc., etc., I would be out of a job. And this happened to me, like, I worked three jobs at once, and this would happen to me regularly. So naturally, you know, I trusted no one when it came to money, and that was pretty smart. And I was always prepared for the worst. And most of the time it was really good that I was. So I've always been a caution freak. I've always, you know, watched my money. And that's why. So, okay, now what did I make? Okay, I was trying to come up with stuff that I could use the textured soy in because... here it is on the bottom of the pan. So here's what it looks like dry. And the good thing about this stuff is you don't need refrigeration. So one of the, what gave me the idea was one of the followers said, try hamburger in top ramen. And if you've ever tried hamburger or taco or turkey meat in top ramen, it's really good. So I thought, well, how about some of this textured soy meat? So, okay, what you have to do, textured soy is blazola, so you have to soak it for about 5 or 10 minutes in the top ramen broth before you cook your noodles. You have to be careful so that it doesn't absorb all. I just put like about a 1/4 cup in just for one little batch for like dinner. And it would be nice if I could find my pepper. And so let's see, where is my pepper? It's around here somewhere. I usually keep a few in the kitchen. So, don't be thinking, well, Kansas City is the ones with the tornadoes and the floods. I don't have to worry. No, 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 no. I don't care where you are. Be careful. Be ready. Stockpile your food best you can. It's very hard when you don't have that much money. And just imagine those people. You know, what if now you got to run for your life. Now you don't have a job. That's like me. And then... they used to say to me, well, you can find another job. And what I would do is I would get in my car and I would frantically, and I would always find a job. Don't ask me how. Oh, my goodness. Okay, this is probably one of my best disaster preparedness. This is textured soy in top ramen. And if you have a little... So that's okay. That's okay. You're okay. Can you imagine those people? And one of the followers made a good point. You know, you don't want to be out in the elements. So all these people have to find shelter. If it's cold back there, that involves like an apartment or a shelter, you know, out of the elements. What if you don't have money? Well, you're just... at a time like that, you're just trying to live through the disaster. And then you come back to no house, no job, no money, really bad. So this top ramen costs about 18 cents. And then what's really good with this stuff is Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And one of the things I stockpile is all different kinds of potato chips. So, you know, what you want is you want food for about a week, 3 days to a week. Not all the disasters are as bad as these floods and these tornadoes and such. It could be the power goes off, you know, your electricity goes off. And that's really bad. This would be good with beef. So I retired and my idea was to sell jewelry at the swap meet. Well, it's evolved, and now what I really like to do is sell used clothes, preferably luxury items. So today I got an Yves Saint Laurent jacket. And, you know, if you've never been the possessor of these luxury items, you know, I buy knockoffs. And I thought, oh, yeah, these knockoffs are good. Well, you get the real stuff, and the knockoffs are not. So I would have quit doing hair years ago. I really would have. And I would have been better off for it. So, if you want to see the jacket I bought, go to my Instagram. I leave the link on every video. And I also posted on there 4 other coats that I'm selling. I want to sell men's clothes, but men's clothes are scarce. In fact, today, if you can believe it, clothes were somewhat scarce, they said, in the thrift store. And I have a big happy birthday to China Floyd. Happy birthday, China Floyd. And all my followers, if you get a chance, wish China Floyd a happy birthday. And Sit Off the Grid, one of my favorite channels, she mentioned they were having sugar-free Jell-O and cottage cheese. And I said, oh yeah, that'd be a good one. I'm going to make that. And she mentioned a good prepper channel, G Bear. I think I already follow him. And so, you know, check out the channels. You know, check out the comments. They're really, really good. And I think the textured soy would be well worth storing. A long time ago, long time ago. Oh, I want to mention, the only thing I really bought for the stockpile today was I stockpiled 2 cans of Vienna sausage. I was kind of busy today. But I try to work on my stockpile a tiny bit. And Mr. Charles mentioned Vienna sausages in top ramen. And this is good. You got to try this. This is one of my better ones. I'm going to be doing... Okay, so you can use textured soy. Well, they put it in everything as it is. And that's one of the things, the soy has been compromised. That is good. So for a few cents, you know, you could survive the day. This could be hamburger, turkey burger, textured soy, Vienna sausages, leftover meat. And, you know, just work on your stockpile. What I do, I work on my eBay a little bit every single day. I work on my stockpile a little bit every single day. So that in the event, you know, when I moved that time, I was so pissed off because I had been living in this place for 16 years and I had to move suddenly. I was basically told, relinquish the apartment. And it was a real blessing, to tell you the truth. But what I did, and I was so mad too, I donated my food to the senior citizens. And you know, you never think of those places being short on food, but the truth is, there's never enough. So I donated my food to the senior citizens, Salvation Army. And I had 2 trunks full of trunks full of coats. You can see my coats. If you want to see my coats, go to my Instagram. And I was so pissed off because it took me about a year to find that many coats. And I had 2 trunk fulls and I was ready to start selling them. And I was just so mad. And that December, this happened October 31st. I'm beginning to hate that holiday. My son's friend last year was murdered. You know, I always thought, oh, Halloween, it's no big deal. Well, I'm a little less than, I hate Halloween now, but around December or January, it was cold here. And the thought popped into my mind about those coats and, you know, most likely what happened to those coats. And so then, you know, I was praying and I said, okay, God, I guess it's okay. You know, it'd be like back there in Kansas if some nut donated 2 trunks full of coats at a time like this. So if you have some prayers tonight, pray for those people all across the country, the flood areas. You know, we were just talking about what happens when you can't pay your taxes on your farm. Like, what happens? We're talking a massive amount of money just in taxes. Well, what happens is you lose your farm. And so these poor people in Kansas City now, and take a look on my Twitter or go straight to Mike Morales and watch those weather channels. And prepare as best you can. Get your bathtub nice and clean in case you have to fill it full of water. Make sure your car, also, you know, if you live in those icy areas, you can't really stay in your car. You got to find some kind of shelter. And if you do have to stay in your car, remember the park in the shade thing. Make sure you park out of the elements. You have to be careful under bridges with floods, but, you know, in parking structures and places like that, not out in the elements. Take shelter as much as you can. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.